My name is Victoria Soares. I am the founder and director of Asylum Pride House. We're a 501c3 organization in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We work with supporting LGBTQ plus asylum seekers through transitional housing, initial resources, and case management services. Our programming, we have a 5-bedroom house right now that we're hopefully going to be expanding into the new year, where we host a variety of folks from all over the country. They often are referred to us through national agencies, different immigration organizations. Sometimes folks find us on their own. It's really a mixture of ways that people come to us, but they come from all over the world. We have folks from Honduras, Guinea, Sierra Leone, China, Venezuela. We've had folks from really everywhere at this point. And I think what's really interesting about this work that our organization does is that it is very intersectional. We work at the intersection of housing instability, immigration, and the LGBTQ plus community. And so there's a lot of ways that different social movements that are happening across the country and across the world, honestly, impact the community that we work with. It is a beautiful thing. It's also a very challenging thing. We're constantly working with different networks of communities at those intersections across the country to try to create programming that is the most impactful as it can be and meeting the needs that are existing because of these real, structural and social issues across the country impacting the community. In terms of organizations doing housing for LGBTQ immigrants, we're the only organization in the US right now that's doing this combination of housing and case management support. Just this summer, we had 5 folks that were placed into our house because of other individuals that were moving out, and we only have a 5-bedroom. So that, a huge turnover in our programming because of the success of particularly our case management and being able to get folks acclimated into the community. We're really looking in the future of being able to expand our size. Just even looking at the past 6 months, we get contacted almost weekly for housing, and not just housing, sometimes case management, but a lot of folks are looking for housing as well. And we've had to turn folks away because we don't have the capacity. We're really trying to move out of that pilot phase and into a more substantial and long-lasting program in the community. And right now we're actually looking at taking over potential convents, which is really interesting, and working with faith communities in the area that have buildings that are no longer in use to be able to repurpose them into housing LGBTQ immigrants. There's such a need and there's such few resources like ours. It really makes all the difference to be able to actually have the capacity that we need to support the community, because the demand is there. It's just the resources aren't yet. Our organization, we work within such a small intersection of a community that has historically really never been well served by a lot of the philanthropic community nationally and in Philadelphia. We really rely on a lot of more individual donors, small family foundations that trust on us, UUSC, the faith community that really see that this work is needed and trust that we're capable of doing it. It's very hard to grow a case management program that's not federally funded, and yet our community that we work with has historically never been one that's eligible for federally funded programming. And so we just keep trucking along and trying to build relationships to be able to expand our programming. I've worked in immigration for over 10 years at this point, and this is probably the worst that I've ever seen it, especially within the intersection of working with the queer community and immigration. It is very, very hard to keep the motivation going for our staff and our volunteers and our clients, our residents. It has really taken a serious toll. But what I find the most motivation in is seeing our clients do so well in our programming and to be able to move out into the community and then continue to engage with our programming. We've had folks that are actually our first couple that ever lived in our house moved out over a year ago, and I got a text from them a couple of weeks ago, and they were like, we're coming over to help with the spring cleaning and summer cleaning that you're doing. And I was like, oh no, you don't have to do that. And they're like, no, we're coming. Just seeing that continuous engagement from our clients, even after they've moved out of our housing, that they feel so connected with the community members in our programming that they want to continue engaging. And it's a huge light for folks in our program who are not at the stage of being able to have their work authorization and be able to live independently in the community, to see someone who is exactly where they are now and see them in the community doing well, having a job, having a car, having partners, and living really fully in the community. That in and of itself is really what keeps us going. I sometimes we have folks that like, they'll text me and they'll be like, so-and-so's coming over. And then I come in and they're having like a whole dinner and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what we want. Within like the queer community and the immigrant community, there's a lot of challenges around isolation. And the whole purpose of why we went with a more community style housing model is because we wanted to combat that type of isolation and a lot of the mental health issues that come along with the process of seeking asylum, the trauma that people come with into our program, and to be able to see folks make like truly lasting friendships and bonds with people in our program, that is like above everything else. It makes me the most happy, and it really shows that the way that we're doing this program works. Our organization has really been able to grow into the space that it has because of the faith community that has supported us. And truly, like UUSC, the Sisters of St. Joseph, some other more Philadelphia-based faith communities that have always stood beside us, has been just truly unbelievable. When we have people out there that feel like they can talk about what we're doing and the community that we're serving, it amplifies the work that we do and the impact that we have. And so I just always like to leave an open door for faith leaders and congregations and just even individuals that want to reach out and learn, because that is what I love most, honestly, in this work, is to be able to talk to community members and to educate. So I leave that door open.